and will share my screen. So are you able to see my screen? So here is the list of contents for today's discussion. We will try to complete this core tag library. Yesterday we have seen C colon out, C colon set and C colon remove actions. And today we will try to understand C colon if action and also the other conditional actions called C colon choose, and inside that C colon choose we'll be able to write multiple when blocks and one single otherwise block, hence which is equivalent to the switch case construct. And then for the looping purpose, C colon for each action, C colon for tokens action, and with respect to the URL related actions, C colon param, C colon import, C colon redirect, C colon URL, all these actions we'll try to understand, right? And we'll try to understand the basic conditional actions first of all, which are trying to control the logical flow of JSP page, which is pretty easy to read and maintain, like your if conditions and looping conditions. Let's begin with C colon if action, which is to be considered as the very basic action required, wherein you are going to evaluate certain expression, and if this expression is resulting as true, then that is assigned to the test attribute of your C colon if. If this expression is evaluated as false, then that C colon if action will never get executed and there is no else block, right? So always the expression is going to get evaluated in this attribute called test attribute of this C colon if action, right? So let's start writing this JSTL C if.jsp. So who would like to share the screen? Shrikanya, will you be able to? Or you want me to launch my Eclipse and then demonstrate? Okay, let me make you the presenter. Yes, you are the presenter. Okay, go to Eclipse and go to my web project. Go to the web content. Now you can close all these uh, pages which are kept open in your editor. Right click on any one and just say close all. So all of them will get closed. Yes. Right now right click on your web content and create a new JSP file. And name this JSP file as JSTL if.jsp. Okay, finish. And you can copy the tag lib directive from any one of your previous. You can say C colon if demo. C colon if demo. Right. So do you have JSTL demo.jsp or anyone? Yep. Copy the tag lib directive and paste it at line number 3. Right, perfect. Now here let's declare one object which you can call it as the, copy these lines. We are trying to use the JSP colon use bean action, wherein we are trying to instantiate java.util.gregorian calendar class that returns the ID of the object. No, it is not copied. Okay, at line number 11, you can see that JSP colon useBean, ID equal to cal, and class equal to java.util.gregorian calendar. Then on line number 12, we are trying to declare a variable by using C colon set action, saying that the variable name is hour and value is equal to that ID, I mean the cal dot time dot hours that is given as the expression. So that expression is evaluated and then the variable is declared there. Let's see what is the hour it gets displayed by using your C colon out. Save this and try to run this one. So already your server is running. So let's get this page launched. So you are in the current hour as the 10th hour. Okay. So current hour is given as 10. Now I just wanted to put an appropriate message like this. So copy all these C colon if actions. So if the current hour is between 0 and 11, then I would like to display a message saying that good morning. Press enter and paste it. Not there. Why there? Right. So line 17, it is trying to verify the condition hour is greater than or equal to 0 and hour less than or equal to 11. If that expression is evaluated as true, it will be displaying a message as good morning. Since else block is not there, so we need to write one more if construct to verify if the hour is between 12 and 17. Then we would like to display the message good afternoon. Then if the hour is between 18 and 23, then we would like to display the message good evening. Save this and refresh the page in the browser. Right, it displays good morning because it is the one which is evaluating the expression given for the very first C colon if action. Right? So that's how we'll be able to work with this C colon if action. And since we don't have the else block, we need to write multiple if blocks. So to avoid these multiple if blocks, we wanted to write a single block. Then we can use the C colon choose action. So let's see how do we do that. Let's do the same program. Just say save as, file, save as. JSTL2 choose.jsp. Okay. All right. So press enter after line 16 and write that action C colon choose. C colon choose. Enter. Yeah. Cut that closing tag and paste it at line 27. Remove that blank space there. Right. So inside this C colon choose action, I need to write the C colon when. So just remove that C colon if at line 18 and make it C colon when. If you can remove and put when. And the closing also slash C colon when. Everything remains same. It is also going to evaluate the same test condition. right? So that is one when block. So all these three blocks are written inside this equivalent choose. So that's how we can say that it is a single block which is equivalent to your switch case. So make the changes for the remaining things. Line 21 also you can make it equivalent when, and you need to close that one with equivalent when. And the last one, if the above two conditions are evaluated as false, then it should be otherwise. Yeah, no need to when. No need of when. Put it as otherwise. Last one, I mean the 24th line, can make it otherwise. So otherwise doesn't require any test attribute. So you can remove the test attribute there. So it is just simply a tag. Delete and remove that blank space. Save this. So this is your JSTL and choose action, you can say. Press Ctrl Shift F and then save it and then try to run this page. So instead of writing the individual if blocks separately one after the other, so all these things are written in a single block, that is nothing but choose. And choose allows you to write the multiple when blocks, and if none of the when blocks are evaluated as true, it is executing the otherwise block, right? So that's how we'll be able to work with this choose action, right? Any doubts? Any questions? Then we'll start working with the looping actions. So there is only one action for looping purpose. There is no while loop, do while loop, all that. There is something available for each. So we need to work with that for each action. So let's see how do we use that for each, which is useful to loop over a collection object or to iterate it for number of times, right? So first we'll try to write against a collection object. Let's say one array list object, will take it and we'll try to use that one. So create a new page. JSTL C for each dot JSP. You can say C colon for each demo. Title of the page as C colon for each demo. For each, FORE capital. Right. And you can copy the taglib directive at line 3. And copy the scriptlet inside the body of the page. So we are trying to create one array list object there. Control Shift F. So since we are not importing them into this page, it is giving you an error. So copy this import attribute and paste it as part of line 2. And before you close that page attribute, take this. Or you can paste it on line 2. Perfect. Right, so you are importing com.myweb.beans.person and also you are importing java.util.arraylist. And still it is giving you an error there, right? So what is that error? Because it says that the person constructor is not available. So go to that person class. Yeah, that constructor is not defined. So go to that person class. Press Ctrl Shift R. Ctrl Shift R. Type person.java. Yes, select that. Okay. Then copy this constructor and paste it at line 12, line 11. Okay, now go back. Save that one. It is not giving, it should not give the error. So give some space or somewhere at line 14. Save it. Right. Okay. So we are instantiating the person objects there. P1, P2, P3. And all those person objects are added to your list. Right. And that list is defined as an attribute in my request object. So I said request dot set attribute and I have given some attribute name there called list attribute, and inside that list attribute I kept that entire array list object. Now after this scriptlet, take this table definition. Means I wanted to loop through this array list object and read the data of every object's first name and last name columns and arrange that data in a tabular format on my JSP page. So I am trying to define the table tag there with two columns, first name and last name. And then on line 27, the first row is headings, TH, table headings or the column headings. Then line 27 is trying to read the data using its var attribute and items attribute of the C colon for each action. C colon for each, where from I need to read the data. The data is there in the request attribute, the form of request attribute. So that request attribute data I can read it by using request scope, which is one of the built-in objects of my JSTL. Dot whatever the name you mentioned there for that attribute. So that is your items. So that items is reading it as a collection and is looping through that one, like the way we were working with iterator and enumeration objects as part of our core Java programming. It is going to fetch one item at a time into that variable called person, and the data of that person we are trying to print there by using C colon out action, which says value equal to dollar of person dot first name, dollar of person dot last name. Right? So this way we are looping through and we are constructing that many number of table rows. Save this and try to run this. Let's see what is the output it is going to print you. Run as run on server. So it is prompting you to restart the server because you made a change in your person.java class by adding that constructor. Hence it restarted that. Let it be. There you go. So you are able to read all your data, whatever you added through your scriptlet, and you are able to print all those values of that array list object through that C:\out action. So that's how we'll be able to work with this C: for each action. Is it clear? Right? And one more usage of this C: for each action. So if you go to yesterday's page, JSTL demo.jsp, JSTL demo.jsp, there you can see the other usage of C: for each. So it is used to to run your loop for a fixed number of times, starting from certain value to certain value. So begin equal to 1 we said, end equal to 10 we said, step equal to 1, var equal to I. So every time that value is going to be stored in that variable I. So your for loop is going to get executed starting from that begin value and ends at that end value. Right? That means this for loop is trying to generate you the 10 numbers there. So all those 10 numbers we are trying to print there by using the C:\choose action to verify whether we can apply the even class or odd class, right? So C:\choose inside which C:\when and C:\otherwise are written, right? So accordingly it is trying to generate you the numbers from 1 to 10 and prints all those 1 to 10 numbers in those table rows, right? Save this and try to run this one. So this is the another usage of your C: for each action we can say. So one usage is that we will be able to loop through the collection objects, and the other usage is that we will be able to loop through for a fixed number of times by using this C: for each action. So these are the two requirements of this C: for each action. Right? Is it clear? Any questions here? Then there is one more action available called for tokens. JSTL will create a new page. C: for tokens is another action available. So we'll work with that action. JSTL C for tokens. .jsp, yes. Can say JSTL C: for tokens demo. Copy that tag lib directive. From line 3 you can copy that. Right. After that, copy the code that I pasted here. Okay. We are trying to declare a variable by using C: set action there. Name of the variable is given as info type and the value is assigned to that variable wherein the comma is used as the separator. Amjad, Basha, mail, Java developer. So this entire string wherever it is separated using comma, I would like to break it into tokens. Like the way, if you remember, your string handling mechanism is providing you a method called split method, right? So when you are splitting the string based on the given delimiter character, it will be creating you an array. It will be returning you an array of that strings. So similarly here, so this value whatever assigned to this info type variable, it is all first name, last name, gender and position. So I kept the first row with those headings, and then on my next row, second row, I would like to loop through that info type variable. It is not a collection object, but it is a token which is separated with comma character. So I'll say C colon for tokens. So read all those items from that info type variable, say mention that dollar of info type within curly braces. So where you want to separate them, use the delims attribute equal to comma and get every separated value into the variable called info and use that info variable to be printed as part of your TD using the C colon out action, right? So that gets printed. So let's see, save this and try to run this. Finish. So you can see first name, last name, gender, position, right? So this is how we'll be able to work with this C colon for tokens action. Is it clear? Then moving towards the URL related actions. Like as part of any web application development, web developers need to deal with the URL manipulation, like importing the data from an URL or redirecting to another URL from the current URL. So for that purpose, our JSTL is providing us a couple of useful actions with respect to the URL manipulation, like C colon param action to define the parameters while importing or while redirecting or while building a URL, all that. Right? So let's start importing first. So we'll try to import by using C colon import action so that it will be able to retrieve the content of the given URL. Right? So let's take one separate page, a new page, name it as JSTL C import.jsp. JSTL C import.jsp. Mention it as C colon import action demo or C colon import demo. And you can copy the tag lib directive at line 3. Then copy these 4 lines of code inside the body of the page. Copy my 4 lines of code from your chat window and get it here. Replace with less than symbol. And you can click that replace all button and then the close button. Control Shift F. Give some space within those double quotes, value equal to double quote, and remove the space and then save it. You now press Ctrl Shift F. So here if you observe, line number 11 is using that import action and URL is a mandatory attribute. So it is trying to read the data to be imported into the current JSP page from an XML file called as person.xml. Or for example, right now there is hi.html is there or index.html is there. So just mention that one instead of putting person.xml. So put something index.html which is already available. So this person.xml is not available but index.html is there. I can see that in your web content folder. Right? So this is going to read all that content from that index.html into the local variable called person, and that person data it is going to load it into the text area, which is nothing but multi-line editable control. Right? Save this and run this. Let's see what is the output it is going to generate. Right? So there you go. It is able to read all your index.html content. Right? Now if you go back and try to make it person.xml, just undo that. Control Z. Control Z. Yes, save it and come back to the browser and then refresh the page. So this time you are trying to import the content from person.xml. But person.xml is not available for you. Hence it is giving you an exception saying that java.io. File not found exception. Just read that root cause. You can see that. You can see that file not found exception is thrown. It is because the person.xml file is not available. So if you want to create that XML file, you can right click on your web content and you can create a new XML file. On your console, you can see that java.io.file not found exception, or even on that web page also you can see that root cause. Scroll down. The last root cause will show you that java.io.file not found exception. Okay, let's create that person.xml file in the web content folder. You can see that the requested resource, my web project person.xml not found. So we need to create an XML file. New, other, type XML in that wizard, type XML, that filter text you can type XML. Scroll down, select that XML file. XML file. Click the next button and mention the file name as person.xml. Say finish. Click the last tab at the bottom, source tab. Delete that one line of code, Control A, delete, and then copy the lines that I pasted in your chart window. Control Shift F, right. So this is how the XML looks like. XML doesn't have any pre-defined tags, so you can define your own tags, provided that every tag need to be defined with the proper case sensitive, and also every tag need to have the opening tag and closing tag. I mean, it should be available in terms of pairs. Save this. And then go back to that Apache Tomcat error wherein it was throwing you the file not found exception. Now you can refresh this page. This time it is going to import this person.xml data by using your C:\import action, and that data it is able to load it inside your text area like this, right? So whatever the content you created inside your person.xml, the same content is printed here through this text area of the JSP page, which was done by using your C:\import action. Right? It is used to retrieve the content of that XML file, which is placed in your web content folder. Is it clear? Then comes the C:\redirect action. So we wanted to use this C:\redirect action to redirect the current page to the another page or another URL. Right, so let's verify that. Create a new page. New JSP page. JSTL C redirect .jsp. C:\redirect demo is the title of the page. C:\redirect demo. Small r. It is not capital R. C:\redirect, C:\import like that. And you can copy line number 3. Right? Then inside the body tag, define these things. Copy all these lines of code inside the body tag. We are trying to define a form tag there. So this form tag is inside the body. Right. And first of all, find and replace that &LT thing. &LT semicolon, Control F, replace with less than symbol, and then click the button replace all, and then close button. Then come back and then press Control Shift F. Alright. So here you can observe that line 11, 12, 13 is nothing but a C:\if action. It is trying to verify if you are passing any parameter called post back. If it is equal to 1, then I would like to redirect it to the parameter called URL parameter. And my form is defined there, form action equal to JSTL2, you mentioned capital R, right? So just do that one. On line number 14, action equal to JSTL2 capital R. That is your file name, current file name. I am trying to submit this form to the current page itself, wherein I am trying to define one search engine label, and I have taken a drop down called drop down will be created by using select tag, name is URL, and I am trying to provide three options there, Google, Yahoo and Microsoft. And also I have taken one hidden parameter called post back with the value 1 and then the submit button. Right, so save this and try to run this page. So for the first time when you are trying to load this page, it will not be reading any parameter called post back parameter. Hence your if action will not get executed. It will be simply loading the page. Right? So for the first time when you are loading it, it is just simply loaded. Now try to select any one search engine from the drop down, Google, Yahoo or Microsoft. And then click the go button. There you go. It has got redirected onto the www.google.com. Click the back button. Yes, select any other. There you go. It is redirected onto Yahoo. URL remains the same, but since that to that URL page it is submitted with all those post back parameter with the value 1, it is evaluating the test expression of your if action, and accordingly it is redirected by using that redirect action, and that action value is given as the URL parameter URL equal to $of param.url. So that way if you have selected the Yahoo URL from the drop down list, it is redirected onto that one. Is it clear? If you select Microsoft from the drop down, it will be redirecting onto that Microsoft. Is it clear? Any questions in that? You would like to test that Microsoft thing? It is going to point you to bing.com. Yeah, you can test it. You can test it if you want to test it. Select that Microsoft thing and then click the go button. Then you can verify that. There you go. It is redirected onto www.bing.com. Clear? So this is how you'll be able to work with all these things. Any questions here? Param dot postback is nothing but your input parameter that you are passing it as part of your form action. So inside that form, you are declaring one hidden parameter, input type equal to hidden at line number 19. Name is equal to postback. That is one parameter which you are submitting. Similarly, your drop down name means the select name equal to URL you mentioned on line 15. That is another parameter. So param.url is nothing but the name of that drop down, and param.postback is nothing but the name of that hidden parameter value. So you are trying to compare that with 1. If it is 1, then you are redirecting onto the selected URL. Right? Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay. So that's all for now. There is one more SQL and URL action. I am leaving it for you. So please try to walk through this PDF and execute them and let me know if you are facing any issues. And here are a couple of URLs which you can refer it further. Okay. So tomorrow we'll be taking a look at the formatting tag library and SQL tag library. Alright. So that's all for today from my end. Any questions? Okay. Okay, if no questions, see you tomorrow. Thank you, Rishita. Thank you. Okay, thank you guys. Catch you tomorrow then.